Are you thinking of getting your first ball python in 2026? Or perhaps you already have one and you just want to make sure that you're doing things right in 2026? Today, we're breaking down everything you need to know about ball python care, from enclosure, setup, heat, humidity, feeding behavior, and common mistakes. But of course, considering our local climate and conditions here in the Philippines. So hi, I'm Josh or Pitch from Pitch Exotics. We pulled from various educational sources, both local and international. So those would include reptiles, and of course, scientific journals and research data that are up to date. So huge thanks and shout out to Kuya Darwin from Moonlit Exotics and to Mamita Freya from House of Pythons for taking the time to review yung draft na ginawa ko and to really input some of their comments and feedback to further improve it. Lastly, I just want to put a disclaimer na even though this is an in-depth care guide, don't let this be the only source that you will watch or base on if you're planning to take care of a ball python. With all of that said, without further ado, let's get right into the video. So, ball python origin and biology. Ball pythons or Python regius are actually native to Central and West Africa. They are terrestrial ambush predators with fossorial tendencies. So, ang haba, di ba? Let's break it down ano ibig sabihin nun. By terrestrial, meaning they spend most of their time on or near the ground. And then, ambush predators, since they are heavy-bodied snakes, hindi sila ganun kabilis gumalaw, so they lie in wait for their prey. And by fossorial tendencies naman, ibig sabihin, they have a habit of digging and living underground or in burrows. So in the wild, they would thrive in abandoned rodent burrows. But speaking of burrows, there are actually two types. So in the normal season, they block an existing burrow, so yung path na dinadaanan ng rodents, and they stay coiled up dun sa opening. They would stay there hanggang sa maubos nila yung rodents na nakatira doon, after which they would typically shed out and defecate, and then aalis na sila to look for a new one. Now, another type of burrow is during the breeding and mating season. So during egg-laying season, that's the time that they look for an abandoned rodent burrow to lay their eggs. Next would be longevity. So these snakes in captivity would typically live between 20 to 30 years, depende sa care. So these aren't short-term pets or starter pets that you can get. So really, these pets are a long-term commitment. If you're looking for a starter pet or something na pangalaga sa bata, perhaps you might want to try hamsters instead. So they are primarily crepuscular or nocturnal. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Crepuscular, ibig sabihin they are mostly active during dawn or dusk. And nocturnal, ibig sabihin mostly active naman sa gabi. For the longest time, these species are actually believed to be primarily nocturnal, but recent research shows us na yung iba crepuscular din. A perfect example of this would be David Kaufman's documentary of ball pythons in the wild. So if you haven't watched that, I recommend it. It's really good. Pero bakit natin kailangan i-discuss ano yung ugali or yung natural behaviors nila in the wild? That's because to be able to provide them the best care in captivity, the best way we can do that is to replicate yung natural environment nila in the wild as much as we can. So, hindi lang naman sa Pilipinas, actually worldwide, ball pythons ang isa sa pinakasikat na pet pagdating sa snakes. Bakit? Kasi unang-una, low maintenance sila compared to dogs and cats. Another is they're generally docile and calm. So, ito si Malos, wala pa siyang history of strike ever. Another factor is their size. So, their max size pagdating sa females would be about 4 to 5 feet. Ito, si Malos, almost full-grown na siya. She is a female. And pagdating naman sa males, they would typically grow between 2 to 3 feet. Yung difference ng size nila pagdating sa genders is actually a biological trait called sexual dimorphism. The next would be enclosure sizes, types, and best practices or alternatives you can do if you cannot provide yung minimum recommended size pagdating sa enclosure nila. Sa enclosure nila, if you will research sa international care guides, normal na mababasa mo or maririnig mo yung sasabi nilang 4x2x2 standard. Bakit? Kasi snakes are able to fully stretch out and mas less yung pinapakita nilang stress-related behaviors. Pagdating naman sa types of housing, number one dyan, best option would be PVC vivariums or yung mga PVC enclosure. Pwede rin ng tubs or racks or yung mga glass or aquarium tanks, but you have to make some modifications for it to be livable para sa iyong alaga. So, doon naman tayo sa alternatives. I know na ang 4x2x2 for some is masyadong malaki sa bahay nila or let's be honest, hindi siya mura. And if you have a lot of snakes or you have a lot of pets, hindi siya cost efficient para mag-stock ka ng sandamakmak na 4x2x2 sa bahay mo. So, similar to my case, hindi ko kaya i-accommodate yung naka 4x2x2 silang lahat. So, ano yung mga alternatives na ginagawa ko if I can't meet yung minimum specific requirements na 4x2x2? So, ito yung mga non-negotiables. Number 1 would be yung full body stretch. As much as possible, yung size na enclosure na ipoprovide mo, mapatab or kahit ano, is it would still allow them to stretch yung buong body nila. Number 2 is proper thermoregulation and hygroregulation. So, that would translate to providing them options sa loob ng enclosure nila. Para sila na mismo yung makapamili, gusto ba nila sa mas mainit na side o mas malamig? Gusto ba nilang mas humid or gusto nilang mas dry? So, for me, I provide humid hides and also water dish or water balls na medyo enough para makapag-soak sila if gusto nila. Number 3 is deep substrate for digging. Although ball pythons are not like hognose snakes na kailangan nila ng mas malalim talaga ng substrate because burrowing type of species sila. Number 4 is climbing and texture variation. By climbing, ibig sabihin, make use of the vertical space ng enclosure nila. Although ball pythons are not known to be arboreal, they would still benefit from climbing opportunities. For both of my ball pythons, I've seen na they really make use of that vertical space. And pagka naglilibot sila sa enclosure nila, they like to use yung climbing opportunities. For texture variation, it's important for us to provide a rough texture, goro wood or stone, just so they have a rough texture na they can rub up on in case shedding sila. So it helps. Number 5 is multiple hides. So, like I said, ball pythons are shy creatures. So, it would help them to be more confident kung may hide kayo one on each end na enclosure nila. Last would be enrichment and rotation. So, those would include rearranging yung decor, providing kahit mga simple na enrichment, mga fake plants, mga ganun. Kahit nga tissue paper. And by rotation, ibig sabihin, we introduce new textures and enrichment items every now and then para naman hindi sila naboboard. Because enrichment, pag tumagal na sa enclosure nila, hindi na yun enrichment para sa kanila, normal na yun sa kanila. So, we have to keep up para ma-stimulate yung physical and mental health nila. And also, occasional supervised exploration. So, in my case, meron akong parang the zipper na pet tent with cut tunnels. So, pagka nakikita kong gusto nila nag-explore, nilalagay ko sila doon. Also, it helps me pagka cleaning time na ng kanilang enclosure. Doon ko lang muna sila pinagsistay. So, to summarize, yes, I use tubs for space efficiency, but hindi naman bare tubs. I ensure na I can provide them with the proper enrichment and essentials na kakailanganin nila sa loob for them to thrive and not just to survive. Next, what's inside their enclosure? So, ano yung mga essentials na dapat nasa loob nun? Syempre, number 1 would be yung substrate. So, there are a lot of different types of substrates available para sa ball pythons. Ilan na dyan ang cocoa husk or cocoa chips, cypress mulch, topsoil, and cocoa mix, or paper towels if nasa quarantine period pa sila. Avoid substrate like cedar and pine as these contain phenols that are toxic to a reptile's lungs. Others would be just plain sand or cat litter. Next would be yung hide. Like I said, one on each end. So, sa international care guides, mababasa nyo na kaya sila nag-offer ng dalawang hides is because yung isa sa warm end, yung isa sa cool end. But since hindi naman tayo nag-offer ng lights dito masyado, or karamihan hindi, we just opt to provide that para feeling nila safe sila makapaglibot from one end to the other end. So, when offering hides sa pet snake mo, it's important na tama lang yung laki or yung sukat para sa kanila. For example, ito yung snake mo, ito yung hide nila. Dapat snug fit lang sa kanila. Hindi yung sobrang liit na baka maipit or magkasugat sila, pero hindi rin naman yung sobrang laki. Importante na nagta-touch yung backside nila doon sa hide. Through that, mas malilesen yung stress levels nila. Next would be hydration. So, water bowl. Since they're heavy-bodied snakes, kailangan secured and heavy din yung container mo para hindi nila maitaob or accidentally spill it inside the enclosure, and that would cause humidity spikes. So, yung sa laki naman ng water bowl, others would opt to provide a huge water bowl para makapag-soak yung snakes nila. So, I guess that's okay as well. Others naman, for hygienic reasons, would provide large enough para makainom sila properly, pero hindi para makapag-soak. Because nga naman for hygienic reasons, kung doon sila naliligo at nagsusok, tapos doon din sila iinom, 'di ba? So, if you don't want that, you can just provide a regular water dish or water bowl na again, secured, mabigat, hindi nila matataob. But then, occasional soaking lang. The next section would be the lighting. So, in captivity, we need to produce a day and night cycle para sa kanila para ma-regulate yung circadian rhythm nila. So, for me, I have them placed in a room in front of a window kung saan may natural direct sunlight sila. If you have an outdoor setup naman, kindly ensure na meron pa rin silang space to retreat if in case sobrang harsh nung init nung araw para sa kanila. Para naman sa mga sobrang indoor na setup, for example, condo, dati nung naka-condo ko, I would use yung mga smart plugs or automatic timers na kung saan may naka-plug ako dun na LED light or LED bulb. Nakaset yun, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Next would be the science of UVB. While they can survive without it, studies show that UVB exposure can actually improve yung immune system nila and yung response even in nocturnal species such as ball pythons. So even though UVB is technically not strictly required for keeping snakes, for them to survive in captivity, because hindi pa ganun kalaki yung volume ng studies na nagpo-prove na it can actually be beneficial for them as compared to lizards. But the consensus among experts is that UVB is beneficial if provided appropriately. So you want to use that, be sure to have automatic timers or smart plugs to avoid excessive UVB. Next would be yung climate control sa loob na enclosure nila or ano yung proper temps. In international care guides, they always talk about providing a gradient temperature across the enclosure. So on one side warm, on one side cold. So for their warm side, ideally 31 to 33 degrees Celsius. And then for their cold side is 24 to 26 degrees Celsius. But again, international yun. Nasa Pilipinas tayo. Dito sa Pinas, ideal na yung ambient room temperature natin during the day, which is around 31 to 33. But ang magiging problema natin is yung cool side nila. So, paano natin malalagyan ng cool side yung loob ng enclosure nila? Ang solusyon is to remove yung stagnant air. By that, increasing yung ventilation sa loob. So, since natural naman na mataas na yung humidity natin sa Pinas, increasing yung air vent sa loob to increase yung air circulation wouldn't be a problem for the humidity. But at least mare-remove natin yung stagnant air, and if it becomes too hot, at least mahangin pa rin sa loob ng enclosure and they would have their water balls to soak into. Kung hindi naman, you can opt to provide humid hides. So ayun nga, normally we wouldn't need to provide any heating equipment unlike sa mga bearded dragons. Pero kasi sa Pilipinas, we have different regions, different climates. So this would be a case-to-case basis. For example na lang, ang ating WFP na si Champirax, I know they're based in Baguio, so they have their own heating setup for their ball python racks. So if you need to provide heating, know na marami kang options. Meron dyan yung mga heat bulbs, meron dyang heat mats. Basta marami pang ibang klase, and maybe in a separate video, I can cover all of them. But just note na if you will need to provide any heating equipment at all, you need to attach it to a thermostat. For those who don't know, a thermostat acts as a safety measure. So, for example, ito yung sinet mo na max temperature sa loob ng enclosure na to. If in case masyadong mainit yung panahon natin and tumaas masyado yung heat sa loob ng enclosure, yung thermostat, it will automatically cut the power off para hindi naman matusta yung alaga mo sa loob. So, important ang thermostat. Next section would be quarantine or yung biosecurity. If this will be your first snake, hindi mo masyado kailangan i-concern yung sarili mo sa quarantine. But if you already have other reptiles in your collection, please be sure to quarantine them properly. So pagdating sa quarantine, you should keep any new pet snake away from your collection or in a separate room for at least 30 days or 1 month. Pagdating sa kung gaano katagal ba dapat, iba-iba kasi yan. Depende na rin sa keeper. So, sa akin, minimum 1 month, sometimes 2 to 3 months, and others, I've heard umaabot pa nga up to a year or more. Also, as much as possible, separate tools and separate room. If you cannot, at least sanitize yung tools before and after use if you're sharing it with other reptiles in your collection. Kasi quarantine helps prevent the spread of mites, parasites, and other illnesses such as respiratory infections. Kasama na dyan na pagdating sa'yo or pag nakuha mo, do a visual inspection first. Nothing too invasive, just to ensure everything is fine and healthy with your new pet snake. Additionally, I would recommend to only use paper towels as substrate during this quarantine para you can easily spot yung droppings niya or yung poops niya kung healthy. You can also easily spot kung may mites ba. Next would be their diet. So, sa wild, marami silang variation pagdating sa diet nila, but in captivity, primarily, rodents ang pinapakain sa kanila. So, by rodents, pwedeng mice, rats, hamsters, or ASF. So, primarily, rats ang pinapakain dito because they're believed to be more nutritionally complete compared to mice and higher in fat. Pero I know there are still more studies looking into this kung tama ba yun. But for today, let's just leave it at that. Next would be yung hunger strike. Usually, ito yung nakakakos talaga ng stress, especially for new keepers. So, if ayaw kumain or nag-off feeding yung alaga mo or tinatawag na natin na hunger strike, marami kasing possible na dahilan. And kaya nga dinidiscuss ko, ano yung mga possible reasons na nakakakos ng stress sa kanila. Other than stress, nakaka-apekto din yung seasonal changes natin, especially during the bare months hanggang February. Kasi usually, ito yung mga months na mas malamig sa atin, so they would refuse kumain. The key is to check and monitor their weight, and if wala namang drastic changes, hindi naman biglang nagda-drop yung weight nila, then you don't need to worry. But if you think there's something unusual or kabahala na, please be sure to bring your pet to the exotic vet. Another thing is yung excessive feeding can also lead to off-feeding. So it's also one of the common beginner mistakes kasi a proper feeding routine is necessary for proper digestion and overall health ng snake. Pagka excessive ka magpakain, possible din silang magkaroon ng fatty liver. Parang tao lang. Ayun. Not because mabilis lumaki, ibig sabihin healthy. Madalas, pag nag-off-feed yung hatchlings is because overfed sila. And other than fatty livers, possible sila magkaroon ng issue with prolapse and impaction. Pagdating naman sa post-feed handling, you should wait at least 48 hours before handling your snake pagkatapos nilang kumain. Because if you handle them too early, possible na mag-regurgitate sila or isukan nila palabas yung kinain nila, which is actually very stressful sa kanila and risky sa health nila yon. Pagdating naman sa feeding frequency, hatchlings usually feed weekly, every 5 to 7 days. Juveniles or sub-adults every 7 to 10 days. Pagdating naman sa mga adults, every 14 to 21 days. If in case more than 1,500 grams na yung alaga nyo or lagpas 1.5 kilo, you can switch to feeding them every 28 to 56 days. Pagdating sa size, ideally, it should be between 10 to 15% of their weight. So let's say may snake ka or hatchling na nasa 200 grams, dapat ang pakain mo sa kanya is nasa 20 grams lang din every 5 to 7 days. Yung laki nun or yung girth, hindi dapat lalagpas sa biggest or widest part ng body nila para ma-ensure na hindi sila magkaroon ng impaction at maayos nilang ma-digest yung pagkain. The next section would be cleaning and maintenance. So as much as possible, daily you should spot clean for urates or yung wiwi nila and poops. Pag naman nagdi-deep clean ka or nagpapalit ng substrate, if hindi ka naka-bioactive mix, you can do this every 4 to 6 weeks. Options for cleaning solutions can be reptile-safe disinfectant, veterinary-grade disinfectant or F10, or a bleach solution. So 1 part bleach to 100 parts water. Ito rin yung nirecommend actually na disinfectant ng aming exotic pet if naghahanap ka ng mas budget effective or cost-effective na disinfectant. But personally, I would still stick to F10. The next section would be price, morphs, and legality. Bago natin pag-usapan ano yung prices and morphs nila, be sure na you can do more than just afford them. Because yung pag-aalaga naman ng snake, hindi yan natatapos sa pagbili. Pagdating naman sa price ranges, ang pinakamababang nakita ko so far from WFP or Wildlife Farm Permit holders would be from 2 to 3,000. The more genes you get or the higher the morph is, syempre mas mahal. My advice is if may gusto kang specific na morph, for example, nagtitingin ka sa morph market and gusto mong malaman magkano yung price range niya dito, is umattend ka ng mga pet reptile expos. Also, you can follow yung pages ng ating mga WFP dito sa Pinas. So, those would be yung Wildlife Farm Permit holders. I made a separate video. It's actually a series on how you can do that and paano ka makapag-window shopping online. So, bakit nga ba kailangan sa WFP ka bumili and ano yung CITES? So, a WFP or Wildlife Farm Permit is a permit issued by the DENR. Ito yung nagpapatunay na itong taong to or itong entity to, legal silang nagpo-produce, nagbi-breed, at nagkikip ng captive bred na mga, for example, ball pythons. They are authorized to operate at sumusunod sila sa requirements ng DENR para makapag-produce at magbenta. So, ang ball python are heavily traded CITES species due to their popularity as pets. So, they are protected by CITES or Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. So, although hindi sila endangered, they are heavily traded naman kaya sila ay kinikilala sa CITES. So, sa Pilipinas, WFP lang ang may papers makapag-release ng isang CITES species like ball python. So, now nagigets mo na? Kailangan mo yung paper na yon na ibibigay sa'yo para ikaw ay makapag-register as CWR or Certificate of Wildlife Registration. That way, you are legally recognized by the DENR na the ball python you are keeping was procured legally. That way, you can be legally recognized by the DENR na the ball python you are keeping was legally procured from a WFP. Last would be emergency preparations. Number 1 dyan would be yung vet. Kailangan may contact ka ng vet sa phone mo. I would advise at least 3. Isa yung main exotic vet mo, isa yung backup vet mo in case hindi available si main, and isa naman na 24/7 na matatakbuhan mo, malapit sa'yo. So, sa amin, ang main exotic vet namin is si Doc Sean. He does home-based services. So, talagang lumuluwas siya any part of the Philippines para tignan yung alaga mo or yung pet mo. Next would be your emergency contact. So, sino yung mga taong pwede mong mapagkatiwalaan in case wag naman sana may mangyari sa'yo and you will not be available to take care of them for the meantime. So, lahat ng mga alaga ko, parang bata lang yan. May kanya-kanya yung mga ninong at ninang in case may mangyari sa akin mo or mawala ako, wag naman sana. Sila na yung bahala mag-alaga sa kanila. Kasi syempre, typical sa Filipino household, hindi naman talaga lahat ng tao may mapag-iiwanan or mapagkakatiwalaan na kamag-anak para manahin yung alaga nila. So, ayun lang, quick note lang or quick tip. So, yun, doon na nagtatapos yung ating in-depth care guide for ball pythons this year, 2026. If you like this care guide and if you want more, feel free to follow me on my social medias because I will be releasing more in-depth care guide for other species naman in the near future. So, stay tuned, stay safe, and happy keeping sa inyong lahat. Bye-bye!